Howdy folks, it's me out here in the wilderness. See the beautiful river down there. Believe it or not, I was just doing my Solstice hike. I was on my way back home after sitting in nature, connecting with my mother, connected with my real mother last night. But today I connected with Mother Nature, Mother Gaia, where my family comes from. We call her Almuta Noea, the Mother Goddess. So, God, heavens forbid someone say that, be burned at the stake. But no, being here today, I realize now more than ever that nature is a true life giver. I had no food the past 9 days. Finally again did a genuine solstice ritual, 9 days without food, which culminated in a beyond inexplicable metaphysical divine experience last night, where I think every question I've ever had in my life had been answered. I came into the forest today not with more questions, but with a heart full of gratitude. Gratitude in and of itself, the most wonderful things you can ever have. Last night I cried, tears of sadness, tears of elation. I felt my mother's presence. I felt the presence of my ancestors, the presence of the divine. I realized how everything is interconnected. Nothing is separated. Not light and darkness, not even life and death. And as the sun sets here in the wilderness, and I still have about an hour to walk back to my car, which will mostly be in the dark, where I see wolf tracks around and numerous other animals, where in a place where they're told stories of the Wendigo, the Hodag, the Dogman, Bigfoot stories abound. I'm here by this beautiful river, and I pull out my cell phone, which is always on airplane mode when I'm in the forest. But not just to share the beauty, but to share something miraculous. You see, I had another one of these journeys. I don't recall if it was actually solstice, but I was out in the mountains of the Black Forest, and I had done an extreme hike. I was fasting. When you push your physical body to its limits, that's when your spiritual body awakens. That's why yogis, Catholics, Buddhists, etc., that's why fasting is so important. To take ourselves away from the distractions of the world, and that gets more and more difficult to do with each passing day. But I realize now more than ever the importance of it. And forgive me for tearing up. It's been incomprehensible last night and today to see exactly what this life is as the wind speaks with me. To see the majestic beauty as the trees speak in agreement. As I looked upon this river and I heard the trees speaking, or as you would say, creaking, I'm reminded of a story when I was in Black Forest doing a hike, fasting, and I was up in the mountains. And it was the middle of the night. When you go out into the forest alone, in solitude, in the middle of the night, fasting, just you and nature, just you and what we call God. You will see things. In the words of my most favorite poem, written by a transcendentalist similar to myself, albeit he was far more superior, Walt Whitman, an outstanding poet, said, "I swear to you there are divine things more beautiful than words can tell." So as I'm up on these mountains in the Black Forest, I'm getting visions, I'm getting messages, and I look to the stars, and it was almost like, yeah, you'll call me crazy, but I call most of society crazy. To me, craziness is sitting around on a Sunday, getting liquored up, screaming at your television because of what a bunch of millionaires playing a game that is completely irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. To me, that's the purest definition of insanity, but to each his own. You're here to live your life. It's not my place to judge anyone. So let's tolerate each other, and allow me to say, as I looked upon the stars in those Black Forest mountains, I seen patterns come together. And I heard a voice, and I don't know who, nor does it matter. It could have been my subconscious, it could have been God or the ancestors. Does it matter? I heard a voice back then, and I was in doubt. I wasn't really happy. And this voice said to me, and granted, this was 4 years ago, approximately. And the voice said to me, "Billy, you're weak now. You're struggling, but you have to fight this battle. But if you have faith, one of these days, these very stars you are looking at, you will be looking at again. But you will be looking at them from northern Wisconsin." Now this was 4 years ago. My wife's visa wasn't even close to being done. We had no clue what awaited us. In fact, Corona or COVID or whatever the crap was, it had just passed and we were financially devastated. But somehow, I believed. And I came again to Mother Nature time and time again to speak, and we made it. We're here. And this brings a question, what is perfection? Well, it's this moment. Before I came here, I had a horrible fight with my wife. Happens more and more frequently. I mean, it's not all bad, nor does it matter, you know. Life gives challenges, life has its ups and downs. But as I just walked, as you see down this path, that's one direction. That's the other direction back to my car, about a couple miles. But I was led, believe it or not, led by a bird off into the forest, found a place where I sat and had my sandwich, which tasted good after 9 days of not really eating. Realize how we consume far more than necessary, but you know, you can go straight and it's easy. You know, you can see it's flat. It's an ATV snowmobile trail. Thankfully none of those are around, but you miss everything. And it's when the path gets rocky and rugged that you see the most beautiful things, that you experience the most beautiful things. So if your path in life, here metaphorically speaking, isn't exactly straight and narrow and it's a little rocky and bumpy, then be grateful, because that's teaching you lessons you're going to need in the future. Before we came to America, I remember sitting in my sacred grove over there praying. Funny thing is, at the time I was led by the fox spirit, and I just said a prayer of gratitude. And I was nervous about going to America. And it hasn't all been beauty and wonder. But the voice said to me again, have faith, believe in your path, and you will be rewarded 4 times than what you could ever imagine. I still face challenges each and every day. But the wonderful people that I've met, being able to spend, here it comes, the last 6 months of my mother's life with her, those were blessings, those are blessings that have given me 4 times what I could ever wish for. And I have no idea what the future holds. But I just wish everyone could realize that, how precious and beautiful life is. And especially this here, the nature that gives us life, speaks to us if we're willing to listen. This is the God that gives us life. Without clean water, without fresh air, we are nothing. This human existence ceases to exist. We will still exist, albeit not in this form, amongst this beauty. And those are my words to you. I thank you all for being a part of this existence. Sometimes I cry tears of happiness. Sometimes I cry tears of pain. Funny thing is, they're both a necessary part of life. So you just got to enjoy each and every day. Be thankful for it. And if you're struggling, fight. Fight, fight, fight. No fear. Only love and gratitude. And you'll get everything you could ever ask for.